I've already said I don't like Clint. I definitely don't like Ryan. And I sure as heck don't like Jacqui. So that whole dynamic they're my least favourite. I'm going to troll on them. Of course I am.
Troll on, my friend. Troll on.
Hey there, I'm Emma.
I'm Moira.
And we're what she said. Today we're missing Paige again. But no matter, we will hold down the fort while she's gone. If you're enjoying our MAFS episodes, we have a whole podcast channel with other content, such as our hilarious Spill the Tea episodes, deep dive episodes, and our monthly spicy book club. Do us a solid and go check those out after you've finished enjoying our MAFS reunion. Like, follow, and hit that subscribe button. But stay with us now for a recap of MAFS. So Ree and Jeff, Carina and Paul, Jamie and Dave, Jacqui and Ryan, and Awhina and Adrian. It was all about them. I thought we would have seen a little bit of a recap and then a little bit more of the previous cast members.
It looked like the dinner party was really just everyone getting back together, minus the four who didn't attend, which was Tim, Moira, and Jake. He was the instigator, apparently, of Crazy Eyes.
Yeah,
and actually, it was Ash.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just going to touch on that because I think Ash just wanted to catch up on all the goss. I don't think she's a very nice person, really. She made Jake out to be a horrible person in their relationship. But did you notice that as soon as Awhina and Sierra went off to a private space to have a chat, she was the first person up and over there right in the middle of it.
Yeah,
like she's just there for the goss.
Yeah. I did notice that.
Not a fan of Ash.
Not from what we've been showing. I wouldn't be inviting her over for some spilled the tea. But it was interesting. It had been 4 weeks between the final vows and this dinner party.
Yeah, we wondered that.
My God, a lot of them looked quite different, didn't they?
David lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, it was crazy to see both of them and how different they'd looked. So
just speaking on Dave and Jamie, I just like at the dinner party, at the cocktail party, I couldn't get a read on Dave. He really looked defeated. Like he was genuinely disappointed that the relationship didn't work. So it's come out that they were together 3 weeks afterwards. And then it became apparent to Jamie that Dave really wasn't making as much time for her outside of the experiment as she had hoped for. But when they were talking about it, it seemed quite mutual. Yeah, I don't know. I genuinely thought that Dave looked defeated.
I don't think I got that from him. I am genuinely gutted that they didn't work out.
Me too.
I really thought that they were a good match.
Well, Jamie even said on the couch, maybe if we get matched next year, like Ree and Jeff. So obviously they're not going to come back on the show. But if they catch up again, I think she kind of holds on to that little bit of hope, that bit of glimmer that maybe something might work out. It's not the right time. I don't know.
That's probably the couple that I'm most disappointed didn't go the distance. Genuinely gutted for those two. But I guess if you're going to say that you want to be with someone and then just not show up, I mean, did you really want to be with that person? That's probably what Jamie's getting at is, I mean, you're saying it, but the actions aren't matching the words.
She even made comment, she's the one that instigated the breakup.
Yeah.
And she said, how long was it going to go on with after they'd had kids or after they were married? Dave's quite passive and just goes along with things a lot of the time.
Yeah, which is pretty dangerous space to be in, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, as an adult. One thing I noticed Dave said after we found out that Jamie was the one that instigated the breakup, he said, we knew which way it was headed and it just fizzled out.
Yes, and she was like, no, we didn't know which way this was headed. I think he knew at the final vows that it wasn't going to happen. I think he knew from the moment she said that she loved him, he was like, this is just fun for me. I got mad. I got put on the wrong reality show and I was meant to go to the Shaggin Island one, but I'm here, so I'll just show up.
Well, he still got to shag her a bit.
I mean,
maybe Veronica, we don't know. I was just surprised with her performance considering she had been such a massive personality in the couple of weeks that she was on the show, we did not hear peep of her.
No, which I'm so disappointed that they gave Sierra the time. She just came in to stir shit up and leave. Don't know why she had it out for Awhina.
Even Awhina said that. I can't remember her words, but it was pretty much that I had the man that you wanted.
Yeah.
That's no reason not to like me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I found it interesting that it came out that Sierra had actually reached out to Adrian after the experiment and said, ask him out for dinner. And the whole hope was to come back to the reunion as a couple.
She is playing the reality TV. She's just here to be on TV. She was just out to have a storyline to make sure she was part of the final episodes.
Yeah.
And to get onto another reality TV show.
Ultimately, she did what she needed to do. I was surprised that Adrian over Awhina was the one kind of still speaking kind words and hopeful that they might be able to work something out. I know that he wouldn't move, and he said that many times, but I think he was still hoping that they'd be able to catch up or at least have another shag that night. I don't know.
Yeah.
But just when Sierra had like dropped that bomb of all the things that Awhina had reportedly said, that really hurt Adrian's feelings. And I don't blame him. Like, some of those things were really hurtful. And whether they came from Sierra, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Although, and I shouldn't laugh, he says, the worst thing you can call someone is dumb. Like, you don't know nothing. I was like, well, look, you're not supporting your case there, mate.
I didn't mind Adrian.
I do think that's a low blow, though, to talk about someone's business and their intellectual ability.
Regardless of her justification that it was around the time they were having troubles and he walked out because he wasn't in that 30-second ad.
Yeah.
Yeah. You still shouldn't be saying stuff like that.
Yeah, unless suspectingly, Sierra has twisted the words.
Mm-hmm. She's unhinged. I'm getting single white female vibes from her.
It's very Fatal Attraction, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very like Bunny Boiler vibes.
Absolutely.
100%. Yeah.
I loved how Billy I love Billy's eyes. They're so expressive. Billy's eyes like... When he got up to greet her when she came in.
He's like, oh, no.
Yeah, no, not happening. But the fact that he said the room went silent, and I've known some people like that can change the atmosphere and you can cut a knife through it. Yeah. It's horrible. To have that power, she mustn't be well liked within the group.
I can imagine so. If that's the reaction. But I guess also things had been spinning behind the wheels. Like they must have this like group chat where they're like, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
And I believe I read something like Sierra wanted to be in a room with Katie and Ash before she walked in to the cocktail party. I think that's probably for support, so that whenever she spoke out, so she had obviously pre-planned what she was going to say. Maybe she's trying to get them on side, so at least she had two people on her side.
I mean, that would make sense because they left quite early in the game, so they wouldn't have been privy to what went on.
Yes.
And they only knew her as the fun Sierra that we all knew at the start.
Yes.
Mm.
Not crazy white female. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, look, I thought we could have done without her.
Yeah.
And I didn't really feel like we got much from the dinner party anyway.
No, it was really, apart from Jacqui working her ass off with Ryan.
Yeah.
Whatever that's meant to mean.
Literal ass off.
My little ass. I didn't get much out of it. No.
I didn't think so either. I think it was really, the focus was too much on Sierra and then Jacqui and Clint. And I get the whole Jacqui and Clint thing, right? I get that. Sierra, I think we were way past that. Do you know what I mean? I don't think Awhina and Adrian needed her to come and tell them that the relationship wasn't going to work. It didn't work. They knew that.
No.
So it really didn't have much of an impact as much as she wanted it to. Because no one was buying it. It was done then, right? She came in, she dropped a bomb. It upset Adrian, probably the person she didn't want it to upset, and he wasn't running back to her. So it didn't accomplish what she wanted it to accomplish.
No more leverage. I'm done.
Yeah. But then she showed up at the couch session.
I was surprised by that. I thought when she walked out, she should have made a statement and stayed out.
Yeah, it's not like her and Billy had a session on the couch. So, I mean, what was the point in that? So I actually think it would have
Yeah.
been better just to have the couples that went to final vows. But I guess the whole
Yeah.
point of maybe having them all there was because if they were a point of content, you know, that makes sense. Because Clint would have left, and he is a point of content because of Jacqui and Ryan. Sierra is a point
Oh,
of content for
absolutely.
Adrian and Awhina because she went off with him. So,
Yeah. I just wanted Billy there for good fun.
yeah, I think the viewing party would have been way more interesting to watch live.
Absolutely.
So Sierra had said she had nothing to apologize for going to dinner with a friend. That actually made me laugh because I thought, yeah, you're not going to dinner with a friend though. This is supposed to be your husband or wife. Yeah.
Invited each of the partners.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah,
it would have been all above board. There would have been no issue.
exactly.
But that just shows what type of person she is.
Yeah.
So I think her and Paul might give it a go. What, like I haven't seen anything, but they seem similar personalities.
I think even Sierra's too crazy for Paul. Speaking of, wasn't he an interesting kettle of fish? He
Mm.
really gave himself that 4 week period to turn that narrative around, didn't he?
Oh, he backed his story and he did not let light of it.
He was saying that Carina was projecting her insecurities onto him and that Carina obviously had crazy jealous tendencies and he
Mm.
felt betrayed by Carina.
I do see his comment of a big snob because I kind of
I
do
get
see
that.
that a little
Yeah,
bit.
I get
Yeah.
that.
But I don't see the other things. Jealousy. I don't see it as jealousy. I see it
No.
as being an adult and being in a relationship.
And he says
Um,
that she worries about what other people think about her. This is the thing, right, though? What she's got to be careful. And if you know anything about reality TV, you're going to get edited anyway.
yeah.
And she's probably going to be careful what she says. She's going to be wondering what everybody else thinks about her. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
This is a TV show. In real life, she probably doesn't care. But on a reality TV show, when this is an experiment and you have to
Yeah.
go back to your normal life again, yeah, I can understand why she's worried about that.
Absolutely. Look, we saw it with Tim. He
Yeah.
made a complete total fuckwit of himself.
Lost his job.
And now he's had to go off social media.
Yeah.
It's massively life-changing. People don't realize the consequences.
Yeah.
Say one wrong thing and a whole nation can turn against
You don't
you.
even have to say the wrong thing. You can give your opinion and someone
Mm.
completely disagree and
Yeah.
make comments, be mean and rude and come for you. I can understand
Yeah.
why she's worried.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guarantee that they were all playing a part. Other than Ree and Jeff, they were fairly genuine and they were in there for the right reasons. I feel like everybody else probably weren't themselves entirely, playing a bit of a character.
Jamie was pretty funny. I liked her.
She was hilarious.
Then Elliot was saying how Paul was bitter and jilted and he was doing a bit of tit for tat. Find that interesting.
You know what?
Growing to like Elliot.
I hated Elliot.
I know.
Because he left. Like he was a jerk.
Mm-hmm.
He came back and he redeemed himself. Redemption is 100% a thing, and he has my support. He's one of my favorites now. Well, and Lauren, we could see that she was manipulative. Well, actually, we didn't. We saw her sister was manipulative.
That was the way she was portrayed to be. Lauren, in the very first episode, I remember her saying that Jamie was boganic, and I didn't like that.
I also thought was judgmental and not very nice.
She was very judgy.
She had Australia believing her. Everyone was like, oh, poor Lauren. Even you didn't believe her? We all thought Elliot was horrible.
Oh, absolutely. The things that he said, but I don't know whether the narrative was he wanted to be the breadwinner and she wanted to be the stay-at-home wife. And then when he's gone, I want a 25-year-old, whatever.
That's when we all went, douche.
Yeah, you're like, you're an idiot. Good luck. I don't know. It's a bit all over the shop, really, isn't it?
But speaking of Elliot, did you see on social media, and again, I don't know how true it is, Elliot and Jamie apparently hooked up.
No.
after the dinner party.
So I saw a clip that said whoever hooked up with someone who wasn't your wife in the after the some of it after the experiment or something, and he said not yet. And Afina said, "What did I just walk into this morning, Elliot?" Insinuating him and Jamie. So I didn't know what that was about.
Yeah, no, well, that was the article pretty much that I read, and like it went into it a little bit more. But then I went back because it said, "Did you see Elliot couldn't keep his hands off her?" And I went back and I was like, "No, I didn't see that."
Yeah, but that was kind of like the
he had his
footsie thing. I
arm.
was like, I can see their feet under the table, but I don't see footsies.
Adrian and Sierra, absolute 100% footsies.
Nah, not buying it. No.
Well, I want to talk about Jacqui.
Let's go.
I still don't like the girl. Not at all. And just while I'm on it, I don't like Clint. I think he's deceitful, and I think that's why he and Jacqui are good together. Okay. And they're now engaged. Everybody knows that. But I was just wondering, okay, Jacqui. So when they were sitting on the lounge watching their video back.
Jacqui and Ryan. Yeah.
Yeah, Jacqui and Ryan. Was she crying at her own performance? Did you see her cry? She was fucking crying, I tell you.
Define crying. Must there be tears?
There was crocodile tears, but she was definitely doing the old Jacqui cry as she was watching the show. So yeah,
that was a bit cringe.
I thought two things. I thought, A, she could really be reflecting she had a horrible time. Mm-hmm. But then why did she stay? Or B, she was crying because she just loved herself so much, and seeing herself on camera, she was just like crying tears of joy.
Yeah, I did see that and I thought, oh, this is a bit cringe. But yeah, look, I don't know. That was a really, really weird relationship.
I am with you. Like, you speculated a few episodes ago that she was in it just to expose MAFS. That's the only thing that I can comprehend why she would stay.
I don't know. She comes across to me as someone who had a goal of what by 30 I thought I would be married or at least engaged with a house and, you know, doing this as my job and then this many kids. Like, I feel like she is one of those people. She's a list person, right? So it's a checklist. Like, so I would assume that that was her thing. And I would think that she genuinely went on MAFS to find a husband. And I think she got there and was like, oh, no. All right, let's make the best of a bad situation.
Yeah. But remembering she was Miss New Zealand and she was a model and so amazing and so smart. I also think she went on there for a bit of fame.
I think at least halfway through this season, when she realized it wasn't going to work and she wasn't digging Ryan, that she was like, you know what? I'm turning this on you now. I think the first couple of weeks she was like genuinely trying. And after intimacy week, she was like, nah, this is it. So I think after intimacy week, that's probably when you started to see her go, you can play this game, mate.
Yeah, and she is quite bright, so she knew what she was doing.
She's not stupid. But for me, the whole Clint and Jacqui is too much PDA for me.
Yeah.
It's too much. The reels that they had showing of Jacqui and Clint, I was just like, can we find one where they're not kissing or cuddling or saying two words and then smooching? Like, it was a lot. And you know, the only person who cares about this match more than Jacqui and Clint is MAFS, Channel 9, Endemol Shine, because regardless of how that match happened, I'm sure they're going to add it to their numbers of the number of couples they paired.
Yeah.
On them, good luck.
I think Ryan's a bit delusional about the whole they were dating beforehand, though. When you're older, right, things happen a lot faster.
100% they do. Yes. And then Jacqui said she was moving to Tassie, and everyone on the couch lost it laughing. And she's like, I don't know why that's so funny. Well, I completely agree, but I'm also nearly 10 years older than her. She's only just turned 30. It makes a massive difference. Like you've just said, with the older you get, the faster things move. Absolutely. Yeah. He's 43, so he's older again. So yes, things
Yeah.
do start to move quickly. I don't know if they're going to have a long engagement. I would have thought that they would have been married within this year. I reckon by 2025 they'll be married. Next year she'll have
Yeah,
a
I
baby.
agree.
So
And you know what? At the end of the day, if people think it's funny, that's on them. Like, if this is going to work, which I don't actually think it will in the long run, I think he's going to get sick of her.
yeah.
You know, yay. Yay for love.
Yeah. I do think though, I was laughing and being so smug. I don't understand the smugness. They didn't work out. He said no at final vows. She said no at final vows. She's moved on. Again, what you were saying
Yeah,
with Awhina, I don't know why she's angry with Adrian. They were broken up. So what's the issue?
I
I
know.
do think though that if Ryan had have called Jacqui and Clint and said, "Is this true?" They should have said yes.
Yeah, do
Unless
the
their
mature.
whole plan was to walk in and pretend and drop a bomb. Except we live in a time of tech and social media, and so that bomb was never going to be dropped.
I've already said I don't like Clint. I
Mm-hmm.
definitely don't like Ryan. And I sure as heck don't like Jacqui. So that whole dynamic they're my least favorite. I'm going to troll on them. Of course I am.
Roll on, my friend. Roll on.
When Clint walked in by himself, Ryan's like, oh, I don't believe this at all.
Mm-hmm.
So he went over and approached Clint straight away, as Ryan does. Who's telling the truth? Ryan said that he was the first person that came up to Clint when he came on the show to welcome him, and that they became friends. And that Clint had invited him down to Tassie to play golf. And then Clint's like, first of all, I'm not your mate, and then denied that happening. So from what we've sort of seen through the show, and again, it's editing, Ryan has actually been the truth teller out of Jacqui and him.
Mm.
And I'm kind of thinking that Clint likes to spin the narrative to benefit him.
Yeah, I would agree that I would probably believe that comment that was said. And I reckon that it would have happened probably the first day that they met. And he was like, "Oh, what do you do?" "Oh, I play golf." "Oh, really?
Yeah.
I like playing golf." Oh, well, next time you're in Tassie, we should hit around. It's kind of like saying, "Oh, we should grab a coffee one day." And you never do, right? And you
There's
never
no
intend
intentions
to.
to
No.
actually catch up.
Yeah.
No.
I think it was a passing comment just to get rid of him, probably.
Yeah, but I feel like Ryan is the type of person that holds on to things.
We've seen his house.
Yeah, yeah. So he's a hoarder of a lot of things, of objects and of people.
The thing I don't like about Clint is the mockery of someone's achievements, right? Regardless of how you see that achievement, you shouldn't make a mockery. Kind of like how Awhina made a mockery of Adrian and his business. That's something that's big for him. The fact that Clint made a joke, a comment, a mockery of Ryan's home, that he is so proud. It might not be to everyone's taste. It might not be as big as Clint's house, but Ryan's not a pro golfer. He's not also 43. He was able to buy that house by himself, and that is a massive achievement for anyone, especially at the moment. Like they're already
especially
saying
in Sydney. It doesn't matter what suburb you're in.
I don't think it matters where you live in Australia. It was just on one of the reporting shows here that our kids will not be able to afford a home when that's just the next generation. So the fact that he was able to afford his own home in Sydney, in New South Wales, an hour and a half from Manly, that's a huge achievement. For him to put that down, I really don't like that. He's only got to where he's got because he has a particular skill. If everyone was able to monetize their own particular skill, everyone would be living in mansions. Do you know what I mean? I just think if someone who had more money than Clint made a mockery of Clint's home, he would be like, "Well, I worked 15 years and I was a golfer and I, put in days and nights training." Like he would be like trying to justify himself. So I think I really didn't appreciate that. Everyone's own goals and achievements are their own, and you just
That's
clap
right.
on.
Everyone runs their own race.
Yeah, didn't like that. But I also then didn't like how, on the flip side of that, and our little friend Paige would not have been happy about Ryan's comment about go back into the Tassie hole you crawled out of.
Oh, so Paige had actually sent us a message when she was watching this and said,
yes, so Paige did say that she was very upset about that comment about the Tassie hole, and in fact, Tassie has been voted one of the best places
in Australia. I remember that article because she was so proud when she sent it to us.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I love
it's
Tassie.
not a hole.
It's
not a hole, Ryan. We've been there. It's nice.
I've been there 4 times, so I can tell you it's nice.
I kind of laughed at after they had watched the video. Billy's like, he looks at Clint and he's like, have you seen any alarms watching the video? And then Clint said, no, not at all. I've actually fallen more for her watching it. I'm like, fucking Clint, what?
Yeah.
How?
No, he's obviously been fed a story by Jacqui of what the behind the scenes has been. So he's probably looking at her going, you're so strong to stay in that relationship, and he can't say he wasn't told and you weren't clear on what your expectations were because we're literally watching it. So I don't know if that's what he meant. Look, there's someone for everyone. Who are we to judge? Go for it.
That's right. They seem to talk the same crazy, so they're okay.
Right? They understand each other's language. Great. That's them two matched. Move on.
Tick. A bit of goss.
Do tell.
Billy.
Spill
Billy
that tea,
Carina.
girl. You're too old. You'll pop a shoulder or something. Don't do that.
No. Oh, I got a whole story about my knee.
Tune in next week on which joint is going to collapse.
That's right. Don't turn 40.
Sponsored by Insert Health Insurance here.
Billy and Carina. So a while ago, we saw a picture of Carina. I'm using my Sherlock Holmes skills here. So in the picture, like ages ago, we saw it. It was Billy and Carina were seen together.
Right.
Quite affectionate. And I think the caption was that they've like hooked up or something like that. I don't know, that they're together.
I remember talking about this and I didn't buy it, yes.
Yeah. So I think it was actually the night of the couch night, like last night.
Because he was wearing the same shirt?
And because she was wearing the same dress, same clothes. So they did seem pretty friendly because I also went back and used my detective skills, Sherlock Holmes skills, without my pipe because smoking's bad. Don't do it.
Ooh.
So yeah, anyways, I think they were right. They did look affectionate, and
not buying it.
Might have been on for Donkey Kong. That's what I reckon.
Nah, not buying it.
Found to go wow. Surely somebody shagged. Somebody would have had to. Anyways, if anybody knows what happened, write in, let us know.
Yes, please.
I'm invested now.
Yeah, we're here for the tea.
Ari and Jeff, lucky last couple.
Look, their little video was lovely, and then they said that I love yous, and the only thing that I thought when they said that I love yous was, well, at least they can get off the phone quicker.
I know.
It's just like, all right, let me bye.
I was wondering whether it was a pressure cooker situation. Like, did they really want to say it at that stage?
Oh, look, do you know what? I think they need like a monthly catch up with the experts because it does seem like they need to be pushed to do things. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're cute. And I kind of found myself, you know how, I don't know, little old ladies kind of sit there with their head tilted when they're looking at love or watching something lovely and then have the biggest smile. I felt like that. I was that little old lady sitting on the lounge just in awe of how gorgeous their relationship was. I do suspect wedding bells. I think they'll go the distance.
I think so too.
So when they were on the couch, the experts said, it's an experiment within the experiment. So the fact that they had dated and were trying to rekindle something from nothing. Yes. I mean, we've been talking about this, like how can MAFS not be such a shit show and an embarrassment next year? The experts just pitched their own show without even knowing it. Let's bring pre-existing couples that may not be dating anymore and rekindle them.
Well, they actually did it nearly 3 times. So they did Paul and Carina, they did Jeff and Ryan, and although they didn't match them, TJ and Jamie, same show.
Yes. So you know what? Do that. That's what's happening next year, MAFS. Channel 9, pay attention.
I would just like to see genuine people or just an all-out shit show. Give me a circus or give it to me straight.
I do like the fishbowl effect.
I would love. I
want to see Big Brother 24 hours. Let's see it all unfold. Let's see people doing partner swaps for realsies.
Yeah. Let me see the challenges that you like, not tasks that are touchy-feely. Give me challenges, like.
Yeah. Love it.
I would love that. That would be fun to watch. I really enjoyed watching the videos back, and also the reactions that some of the cast members obviously had to seeing what was being aired. So when they saw, for example, Dave say, "I don't hate the girl," everyone was like, "Oh."
That was horrible.
Or Ryan, the start of his video where he's got the samurai sword. And he's like, "Where are all the warriors?" And everyone was laughing.
Everyone's laughing. Oh my gosh. I know. Some of that shit's embarrassing.
Really funny, though. I mean, how am I being portrayed? Oh, dear God. I thought it was good fun.
So, I mean, we've complained about doing MAFS. Paige has loved it. Moira and I, it's safe to say that it's been a struggle for us.
I've never watched MAFS before, and this was quite a struggle.
Having said that, I have become quite invested.
No.
We kind of said that we wouldn't do another one. I'm here for it. I think we'll do next year. I just want to see what unfolds, really. And I feel like that's kind of become our niche.
Talking about shit shows.
Oh, yeah. Talking about reality shit shows.
The possibilities are endless.
I mentioned that Mike from one of the previous MAFS seasons is on Love Triangle, and that's all that's been coming up on all of my posts now because Facebook listens. Your phone listens to you. So it's just Love Triangle, everything. I am not doing Love Triangle. I draw the line there.
What is Love Triangle?
I actually kind of think it's a Big Brother thing. I think it's what MAFS will end up being. But it's the same producers, right, as MAFS. So I'm assuming... Hear me out. Yeah.
Do we watch Love Triangle?
We watch Love Triangle.
I think we watch Love Triangle.
Oh, no.
But they've already got episodes out, so we're going to have to catch up. Okay.
I know.
Shit show number 2 coming your way. You're welcome, people. First, we have to understand what the show is. When we do, we'll let you know. No idea.
I think it's just a free-for-all.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Throw some singles in there. See what happens.
Right.
So that's it. That's a wrap, guys, of MAFS 2025, Season 12. Follow us on every social media and podcasting platform. We're over on YouTube as well. We are on Spotify. You can go find us there. Check out some other episodes that we've done. I'm Emma.
I'm Moira.
And we're what she said.
Bye.